The never-ending crypto saga continues, with Bitcoin continuing to threaten this correction. However, in today's video, we'll be going over what essentially would confirm a correction is inbound here, with some more sideways and downside price action inbound. And also perhaps on the other side as well, we'll speak about what would effectively confirm an upside breakout too. Other than that, I just want to jump right in this one. As always, we'll start off with some daily price action statistics, and we can see over here for Tuesdays, it is more or less a coin flips probability, whether it's likely to close positively or negatively, with just under 50.75% of all Tuesdays closing positively since this bull market began in the great year of 2023. However, we are most interested in the average percent gains and the average percent losses. Now, the average percent gain for those winning Tuesdays has been just over 2%, and for the losing Tuesdays has lost an average of 1.75%. We are most interested in the ranges that these create because very often Bitcoin will like to play off of them and use them as areas of support and resistance for short-term perhaps scalps if you are more of a short-term crack time frame trader. In this case, to the upside, that would give us a range high at around about 121.150, and to the low side, that would give us a nice little boundary at about 116.669. Great number right there as well. So ultimately, as long as Bitcoin's playing between there, nothing really drastic has happened, nothing important for the overall trend has happened. But if you do see price action, hit one of those boundaries today, which might actually be a little bit less likely on a day like today, to be honest, then I would be either looking for a pullback if it hits the upside or a bounce if it hits the downside. Further to the point, and I want to get back into my notes. Damn it, where did my notes go? Dude, where's my notes? There we go. Okay, yes. So here is, in my opinion, the best way to be judging if Bitcoin is likely setting up for an actual corrective move or not. Now, I still think that Bitcoin, I am biased towards Bitcoin playing out a bit more of a correction here before continuing on with this epic bull rally. But the most obvious way to kind of judge this one would be just looking at this last test to the red 5 EMA, which Bitcoin loves to ride in its uptrends and loves to ride on its downtrend. Just loves to ride it. It loves to fucking ride it, baby. I love to ride it too. And as long as Bitcoin's above, it's hard to be looking for any sort of, real correction much deeper. And when I say much deeper, I mean thousands of dollars lower. And right now, that red 5 EMA is about 118,100. And we got about 10 hours and 54 seconds left in counting to go in the day. So if Bitcoin does continue to close above it, I think that continues to keep the short-term upside hopes alive for Bitcoin just, pulling a fucking Bitcoin-esque move and doing something like this. I think that's a lot less likely personally, but yeah, that is in the cards as long as Bitcoin is above that very important number, again, on a daily closing basis. If Bitcoin does close below it, I would be looking for the next move in this correction to occur. There's going to be steps down along the way, but I'm mainly referring to the setup that we've been speaking about ad nauseum over here, which for some reason I got rid of it on my charts. Bastard! How could I possibly do this? I'm sabotaging myself. This is awful. I'll never forgive myself. Anyways, here it is. So this is the 4 EMA versus 21 EMA setup. We're just looking at the interplay between the red and the yellow moving averages here, essentially. And anytime that we have seen these cross the downside, meaning that the lower period crosses below the higher period, meaning the red below the yellow, there has been a correction down to the green moving average at a minimum price, meaning that at least price action has gotten down there. Now, again, I want to be very clear in stating this. I do not think that this particular setup is a setup that you can just play blindly. It's great for directional YouTube analysis, but if you play this, you are playing with fucking fire. Anyways, if we measure all of the times that that's happened since this bull market began, again, in 2023, there's been 12 prior times. 10 of those 12 prior times, when Bitcoin did inevitably get back down to that green 55 EMA, it did close in a positive manner. Now, this one, I actually think is probably a good chance it won't if it does get down around there. But what I'm most interested in, of course, is just the long-term implications of this. And whenever we've had this setup, there's been one thing that's been consistent throughout this whole bull market, again, going all the way back to 2023, and that is this. Bitcoin, after the signal is fired off, has never made a new high on the rally relative to, whatever the prior high. So that would be this area right here, this high at about 123,600. Before first correcting down to that green moving average, again, minimum target. So I'll give you a few examples. Again, I figure it's probably mostly the same people watching this, but just for thoroughness sake, we got a lot of new people, a lot of people from the Paul Barron Network. Fuck yeah, man. Glad to have them here. I have to warn you, though, these streams, I love Paul Barron. I love him. He's a great guy, but he's a lot more prim and proper. Not like me. I am a crypto fucking weirdo, I guess. I don't know. I'm sort of a autist I guess. Well, yeah. Also says I'm a closet homo as well. So there you go. That's a good indication of what this channel is like. I wear it proudly, though. Anyways, yeah, so we saw a recent iteration here in June where we got that cross to the downside. And yes, it did correct down to that green moving average later, but you'll notice that there was a nice rally in between. In fact, one rally here and another rally right here. Did it get close to that prior high? Yeah, it got close. Did it exceed that prior high? No, it did not. And it wasn't until it actually corrected down here before it actually did carry on with the, very nice uptrend. Now, going further backwards, we can find a few more examples. Same shit over here. Enters rally 1, rally 2. Again, gets close to that prior high, but not but not above it, and then comes back down there, and then yeah, carries on with it. We have another few examples, except for these ones that like literally just go straight to target, pretty much. Yeah, the other one would be this one right here. Again, rallies up, gets close to that prior high, but not exceeding it. Then comes back down, boom, corrects, and then carries on with the fun times. Anyways, yeah. So going back to our current iteration, if you are following this, this is something that has not failed since this bull market began. I'm not saying that it will never fail. If you're new to this channel, we go off of statistics and probabilities. If something has never happened, it is a 0%. It's 0%. But again, it doesn't mean that it's always going to be like that. So yeah, at some point, I do expect this relationship to fail. It just, everything fails given a long enough time. But if I am a betting man, which I am, I'm fucking probably too much as I rethink my life choices right now. I'm not going to bet on further upside to new highs before that correction comes down. And as of right now, that green moving average is just below 112,000 US dollars. Now, keep in mind, it's going to continue to move up ever so slightly each and every passing day. And the beautiful thing about this backtesting software here, using the Quant Prime service, which we'll go over maybe a little bit later, is that we can go over the trade analysis and figure out how long these trades typically take to get to target. And the average amount of bars in winning trades is actually, wait, what, 3? Hold on, that doesn't make sense. Oh, sorry. That's because we're including all of the ones that were like basically straight to target. If we actually look at the losers, which this one probably will be, honestly, I imagine it's going to be a lot more. Yeah, 13 bars in those losing trades. And I really do think that this one will be a loser when it does get down around that green 55. So if we measure out 13 days from that entry, where does that put us? That puts us, next Monday. So about a week out from now. And I would give, a nice little buffer zone overall in terms of time. Let's say between then and like maybe I don't know, another few days out, another week out from there, but anywhere around there, it's fair game. It's an average. It's not gonna be exact, but it's gonna be around the target. That's what averages are. Anyways, yes, okay, let's speak about what would essentially confirm that Bitcoin is not going to be doing any of that nonsense and just going straight to the fucking upside. Well, in this case, the price action pivot here using the daily time frame for CME, still showing 121,500 as the major area to be aware of. As long as Bitcoin's below there, no major breakouts to be spoken about. If Bitcoin starts to close above there, okay, I think that setup will fail. And I guess you will see the first higher high in this market before correction down to that major movement average. But until then, again, personally, I'm biased towards that. You are free to do whatever the fuck you want to do. Make sure, however, that if you disagree, to send me mean messages on Twitter and in the comment section, because that is the best way to get across your point and shows that you are very confident in your own views. Anyways, moving on from there, I do want to get into perhaps another, perhaps short-term signal here. I mean, it's possible. I want to represent the bull case properly. If Bitcoin were to set in a higher low here, which would require at least a 4-hour time frame kind of popping back above this morning's high at 119,700, there will be hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame. That would perhaps be an early signal that Bitcoin is going to play out the upside trajectory. Again, I think it's less likely, but yeah, that would do it for me. You can also see it on Caretaker's RSI right now. It is starting to populate it in there. It would be the third drive as well. So we'll see. Again, it's got a lot of work to do here with about 1 hour and 53 minutes and counting to go. So fair enough. But yeah, it is in there. Anyways, I do want to get into, where is my HPDR, my herpaderpa, my herpaderpa. So one thing for the herpaderpa right here, the HPDR indicator, is that the daily time frame for CME is, again, we saw a rejection yesterday at the top side of the 38.2 level. Today, we're once again seeing Bitcoin price action stopped at that same level. So I'm starting to look at this as, again, getting more respect, again, helping, at least not helping, but in my opinion, rounding out the case for the short-term downside. Again, and by the way, again, I'm not like full-on fucking bearish or nothing like that, at least not yet. But you know, as long as Bitcoin's even living below there, which is 120, 100, in my opinion, just hard to hard to be looking at this one as likely to break out. I mean, that is where things start to, at least at the very initial point, start to change. So fair enough. Anyways, what else did I want to say? Oh yeah, and also the weekly. Yeah, the weekly median. All right, there we go. Yeah, the weekly median coming in a little bit lower. I do think that this is going to be perhaps, you know, a corrective target maybe this week if Bitcoin does play out some downside. That's coming in just below 116. Again, all of that is predicated upon Bitcoin's ability to close below on the daily time frame this red moving average right here at 118. Let's call it 100 or 200 or just anywhere below yesterday's low would do for me as well. That'd be a pretty obvious one. Fair enough. Anyways, while we're at the end of it here, I should also let you know just the general stochastic momentum pivots for Bitcoin. We can see the daily time frame continues to the upside here. It will actually be continuing to show upside as long as Bitcoin's closing today above 118,200. Right now, trading about $1,000 above that pivot. So, you know, BULAs do have a chance here. I wouldn't say that again until Bitcoin actually closed below that red moving average. I personally wouldn't be front running none of this to the downside. The 2-day time frame is also going to have a chance to freshly cross the upside here, playing out a trendline regression test as well from the last few lows. It's going all the way back to February, March, again in April, and more recently in June. All of these marking off some, you know, nice lows in this trend. Some of these early ones did fail, to be fair, but yeah, you know, if Bitcoin is going to have a place to actually turn it back up, this would be it. Breaks it, then, well, we have, again, a new sort of thing emerging, if you will. 3-day time frame is going to be showing actually downside as long as Bitcoin's closing below 119,900. That one is closing tomorrow night, not today. 5-day time frame is closing tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow as well. 118,750 is the number to beat. And then other than that, well, it's the other time frames are too far away right now, but most of them are still positioned to the downside. So again, that's just my personal bias as of right now, but fair enough. Again, I'm not saying like Bitcoin's bearish here. It's putting in like a major macro high, but you know, could be just a more steady consolidation, which is fine. I think that sets it up better for later as well. It's okay. We like that. Anyways, we're at the end of the video here. Again, we are kind of in the deep portion, the dog days of crypto nerd summer. And so I want to give the people who are, you know, sticking around to the end of this video, just a quick, again, quick little insight that I will actually be massively updating this program right here, which is the informational educational program, Trade Like a Quant, which goes over quantitative analysis. I'm going to be adding significant amounts of content, doubling, tripling, maybe even quadrupling the amount of content. It's going to be basically my one-stop shop for everything trading related, not just quantitative analysis, but we'll also go over traditional analysis, you know, what I refer to as, well, I guess it is just traditional analysis. Or traditional trading techniques, classical TA. That's the word that I'm looking for. Also options, also mindset, and I'll also be adding in content about long-term trading. But that's going to be coming in September. For most of those things, long-term trading will be, you know, added over time. But I do want to let you know that I will be raising the price significantly with those changes to reflect the added content. So if you do get it right now, and for anyone who gets it before that date, you will have the lower price. The price will about double, I would say. At least that's what I'm thinking as of right now. So anyone who has it as of right now, you don't have to pay anything extra. You will automatically get any future updates to the content. I do not like charging people anything else for shit that they've already bought. And for people who had the former TA program, you will also get a discount in the future as well. But right now it's on discount for everyone. So this will be the lowest price basically ever. So anyways, that's only if you're interested in that. Like I say, if you're 99% of people, just fucking buy and hold. It's that simple. You're going to outperform most hedge fund managers. You're going to outperform most everyone who ever existed if you can do that for, let's say, 10 years. If you're the 1% crazy people, then yes, maybe consider it. But yeah, anyways, that's where we're going to be ending things for today. Like I said, I will probably keep the schedule for live streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So as of right now, I'm planning on doing a live stream on Wednesday. If something changes, I'll let you know for sure by just posting a video. But until then, I'll be signing off. I want to wish everyone the best as always. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully next time.